Get up, baby! That's right, it's a Bass Fishing Sunday, Jacket Nation! Woo! Oh, the sun ain't even up yet, but we're on the water. Oh, we're going to be ripping some lips today. I'm so excited. You better be there at the weigh-ins. Oh, we're going to be weighing some bags. That scale's going to be bouncing. I'm fired up. You better be fired up. Jacket anglers, wake up. Get motivated. Let's go!
Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.
Welcome to Jacket Talk from downtown Lebanon at Buzzcuts. As we are getting underway today, brought to you by Ginger Wellness, also by Mercy, Mid-Missouri Bank, and by Jacket Nation Sports. I'm Kevin Stubblefield. We're at Buzzcuts. Come on in and get your haircut and solve some of the problems of the world here in downtown Lebanon, right across from the post office. First off, tip of the hat and kudos going out to Lebanon Tennis. The Jackets defeating Columbia Hickman on Tuesday in district semifinal play 5-4. They will play at Columbia Rockbridge for the district tennis championship. Lebanon Golf is the COC East Division champions. They won that at Carl Junction. Congratulations to Coach Trey Overstreet and the Jackets. Titan Haney finishing second and Ethan Mustard third. Lebanon Bowling, Coach Randy Roark and his group, they are state qualifiers in 2025. And certainly a big shout out going to Lebanon's Carter Singh, sixth in the International Weightlifting Youth World Championships last week at Lima, Peru. Well, we're going to hop on the water today with Coach Dalton Pierce and Lebanon Bass Fishing. How's things going? We always talk about the weather when it comes to getting out and competing in tournaments.
Oh, yeah, the weather's been a lot better than it was early in the year. I know the first tournament, it was pretty cold, but usually that first tournament is pretty cold, which is why the last few years they've tried to do it down at Bull Shoals, and so it's usually a little bit nicer. And then Table Rock is where we just finished up this past weekend, and they like Table Rock in May. Fish are usually hitting really hard in the beginning part of May, and so they like to make that May tournament at Table Rock, so kids are catching a lot of fish. Makes the race to make it to the championship a little bit tighter. So it's a lot of fun, but the weather's been good. Has the schedule of events this year pretty much coincided with what you've had in previous years as to where you go and at what time? Oh, yeah. The way our schedule works is we start in March. March is always the first tournament, and they do one tournament a month through June. And they rotate a couple, but there's some pretty standard places that they try to keep. The last few years, we've continued to go to Bull Shoals. We always do Table Rock in May. The last couple of years, we've stayed at Lake of the Ozarks, which, of course, our guys like because we fish Lake of the Ozarks quite a bit. But in the past, we've also fished Truman a little bit. They'll rotate Truman in there some years. And then the championship, which is in June, they always rotate it. So this year, the championship's in Stockton. Last year, it was at Palm de Terre. And so they usually rotate it between those two places to kind of keep it a little different. So,
if I'm not mistaken, bass fishing may be the final MSHA event on the calendar.
It could be. I mean, it's that first weekend in June is when the championship is, and so I think everything else is pretty well wrapped up by then. I know track is wrapped up by then. Baseball, I don't think baseball lingers too far into June, and I think everything else wraps up in May. So yeah, it's usually the weekend that we go to football team camp, because we've had a lot of guys on the football team that have in the past have gone to team camp, and then they have to leave that night, like the night before the last day, to make sure that they're back to fish all day the next day, and it's kind of a grind, but they like it. So
give us an idea, the audience, some of the guidelines when it comes to bass fishing as far as the boats, the usage, who has to be with the competitors.
Oh, yeah. So we fish through the National Youth Fishing Association. And that association, they set all of the rules, and they follow pretty well all the standard rules that you would see in a bass fishing tournament if you were watching it on TV or something like that. But for our kids, because they're either in junior high or elementary school or high school, they have to have an adult boat captain with them. So they're not allowed to drive the boat anywhere. They can run a trolling motor if they have their boater's license, but they can't drive the boat. So the boat captain can take them wherever they want to go, and then the boat captain can help them like net a fish, but they can't help them fish at all. They can't do any of that stuff. It's all on the kids to fish. So the boat captains are really just there as a guide. And what I tell people all the time is really the boat captains are critical. They are the ones that, when you look at the success that we've had as a team over the last few years, it's because of the boat captains. We have boat captains that this is what they do. They fish all the time. And so they're there to impart that wisdom on their kids. And a lot of times it's a dad that's with his kid and a buddy, or maybe it's a grandpa, but it's not always like that. Sometimes it's a family friend, but it's somebody that has been doing it for a while, and so they're there to kind of help them. They can't catch the fish for them. The kids have to catch the fish, but those boat captains do a good job of helping them guys learn how to fish and how to find fish. I know with Cole Breeden, he's on the TV back here, and Cole, he's been a boat captain a little bit for some of our guys, and obviously he's had a ton of success in his pro career so far and in his collegiate career. And he's just kind of started to impart that wisdom on some of these guys. And that's one of the big goals of it is we want these guys to turn fishing into a lifelong thing. I know I've fished my whole life, and we want them to learn something and have fun doing it. But at the end of the day, we want this to be something that they can keep doing long after high school.
Dalton, I would imagine those boat captains, they are totally invested in the process once they get out on the water.
Big time. I've had, it's funny, a lot of times I get the boat captains, and some of them I've talked to, and some of them in the past been like, man, I don't know if I want to go out there and not be able to fish, right? Like, I want to be able to fish too, but almost every one of them I talk to after they get out there with the kids and they're helping them, they're like, dude, this was awesome. I love this. This was so much fun. I mean, I know I wasn't fishing, but I was helping these kids and watching them catch fish and get excited about bringing in a big bag and everything else. They definitely get pretty invested, and most of the time it's their boat that's getting used. They're donating their time, they're donating their gas money. I mean, they're doing a lot. Some of these tournaments, if they're a little further away, they'll get a hotel and stay the night, and the kids will get a hotel and stay the night, and so it's an investment for sure. And they're all on the weekends, so you're giving up time on the weekend to maybe pre-fish, but also to fish the tournaments. So it's a lot. There's a lot more that goes into it than I think people really realize when they hear, oh, bass fishing. Yeah, we're just going to go out to the lake or whatever and try to catch some fish. And then you show up to the first tournament and there's 200 boats from all over the state. And it's like, oh, this is a little different than what I thought it was going to be. So, what's
been the Lebanon success ratio when it comes to bass fishing here recently?
It's been pretty good. Last year, Jackson, Snyder, and Keaton Snyder, which I think they're going to be on here in a little bit, Jackson and Keaton qualified for the state championship last year, and they got second in the state. And then Avery Starnes and Charlie Knight just a few years ago, they won the state championship when it was at Palmy. And so we've had a lot of success, and we consistently have kids that if we're not winning the state title, we're finishing in that top 10, top 15, even the top 20 of all the teams in the state. And it's not just at the high school ranks either. It's at the junior high ranks as well. There's going to be a couple of junior high guys on here in a little bit. And those guys have been fishing for a while now. When they get to high school, I mean, they'll have been fishing for years compared to some of these other kids that just kind of jump in once they're in high school and kind of find out about it. So we've had a ton of success. I know our community, they should be really proud because these tournaments are not easy. There's a ton of kids that fish these tournaments, well over 100 boats in that junior division every weekend, close to 200 boats on the high school side every weekend. And it's exploded since I've been coaching it. My first season coaching it in 2016, we show up at Lake of the Ozarks and there was over 100 boats. And I thought, wow, this is insane. And now if there was like 100 boats at a high school tournament, I'd be kind of concerned because now it's up to like 200 boats a tournament. So when you factor in that these guys are finishing in the top 10 or the top 20 week in and week out, going against that amount of people, it's a pretty big deal. And then, of course, I mentioned him earlier, but Cole has success at the high school level, and then he carried it into college, winning a national championship at Drury, and now he's doing it as a pro too, winning tournaments at Lake of the Ozarks and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool where it started and now where it's going, and we have a pretty consistent base where year in and year out, I know that we can expect to have kids that are going to be doing well. And again, a lot of that is our boat captains and their dedication, and then the kids' dedication to their craft, because they, just like any other sport right now, I mean, they fish all the time. If you want to be really good at it, you got to be able to get after it and get out there on the water.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I think we need to give Misha some credit for this. Misha is an organization that they take a lot of heat. From all corners, and sometimes justified, but bringing about activities like bass fishing, bowling, archery, girls flag football is coming on board.
Yep.
They're allowing the extracurricular aspect of a student's life to really be front and center now in the state of Missouri. So I think they need to be congratulated for that.
No doubt. I mean, I joke all the time. My best friend, Trevor Bird from high school, like when I got hired as the bass fishing coach, he was like, where was this when we were in school? Like, why didn't we have bass fishing when we were in school? That would have been awesome. And it's not like it's not been around. I mean, kids go out fishing all the time and go out bass fishing and stuff all the time. But to be able to actually do it and do it with Lebanon on your chest, that means something. I know that our athletes, when they get out there, having that pride in our community, it's a big deal. And so to be able to do it in any avenue is really cool. And so, yeah, Misha allowing it to be an emerging activity right now and recognizing it and helping these organizations kind of get it going, like the National Youth Fishing Association and JP Sell, he kind of leads that, and they kind of took that on when it really started to blow up and turn into what it is now. But all those other activities that you mentioned too, it allows a lot of kids to get involved. And I know maybe not everybody sees the board reports and listens when Coach Christian talks about each season and the kids that are involved in activities, their grades are better, their attendance is better. And so anytime that we can get kids involved in anything, it's going to be really good. And so bass fishing's just another thing that we can tip our hat to and say thanks, because it has allowed kids that maybe they had a passion for fishing, but they didn't really know or have an avenue to go about doing it. And maybe they wanted to do it for their school, and now they had the chance to do that.
Well, let's go down your roster of Yellow Jacket bass fishing competitors this year.
Yeah, so it's kind of small this year and as compared to years past, but on the high school side, we got Keaton and Jackson Snyder, and then we've got Colton Bettis and Charlie Windsor. They've been fishing on the high school side. And we should find out later this week. I don't know if those guys are going to qualify for that state championship tournament. We'll find out later. But then there's another tournament. There's a big shootout in August that they'll get to compete in. So even if they don't get to compete in that championship tournament, they'll get to compete in August in the shootout. And then on the junior high side, that side's a little bit better. We got Connor Meckem and Lucas Williams, who everybody's going to hear from today. And then we got Bentley Bentley Cook and Jaden Loudon, who fish together, and they've actually been both those two teams have been in that top tier of the junior side all year. And then Jackson Hazelwood, who he also fishes on the junior side, and he fishes without a partner. So his is a little bit more challenging because you don't have to fish with a partner, but it's kind of preferred because you got two guys in there trying to catch fish. Your odds improve quite a bit. But he's been fishing by himself, and he actually got third this weekend at the Table Rock tournament. And so he probably moved himself into a position where he might qualify for that state championship event next month. And I think the junior high guys, the other four that I mentioned, they're going to qualify and have an opportunity to win a junior state championship. And then Reed Collins has fished a little bit this year, and he's fished in the past with Gage Starnes, and they've had different conflicts with all the activities that they're involved in, and so they haven't been able to fish all the tournaments, but those two have been fishing quite a bit for a while too, and they're going to continue fishing, I know.
You show up at a lake, Bull Shoals, Table Rock, Lake of the Ozarks. Do they know, do the fishermen and the boat captains know where they want to go in order to bring in the best haul, or do they just go out and stop and start casting?
Yeah, they usually have a plan of attack, yeah. Most of the time, they have an opportunity to go out and pre-fish. So similar to how our other activities, if they might get excused because they have to, like baseball's leaving early today to go to Carthage, so they're getting out a little bit early, right? So the school district allows that if these guys want to pre-fish, they can get an excused day during the week to go do that. And so a lot of times either the boat captains will go out and do some of that for them, or they'll go out with them just to get an idea. And then, yeah, they usually have a plan when they show up that day that, hey, we're gonna try to hit them on this. And that plan changes quite a bit too. Anybody that's watching this that fishes knows that fish are fickle, and they can change with literally anything. When I was a kid, I would get frustrated with my dad and my grandpa because they'd be catching fish, and I would not be catching fish, and my grandpa would be like, well, you ain't holding your mouth right. Well, what does that even mean? But it could be and really all it means is just the tiniest thing could change everything. I mean, these guys will tell you, if you talk to them, that there's been times where they've been fishing and it's just been tearing it up, and then it just shuts off. It's like, what are we doing wrong? Like, what happened? So usually they have a plan, but they have an idea that, okay, if this isn't working, then we can try this. You know, there's different baits, there's different lures, there's lakes have all kinds of different spots that you can go get after stuff. And you see that a lot if you watch the tournaments on TV, like you watch Cole and stuff like that. They always have a plan, but that plan always changes.
Mm-hmm. What is your role as the coach once you show up at a body of water and get your guys going? What do you try to do?
So I'm kind of a facilitator more than anything. I show up, and my job is to really support these guys in whatever they need. So for the tournament day, I'll show up to the weigh-ins, and I make sure that I'm there if there's an issue with anything, which there has never been an issue to my knowledge with anything, but I usually am there to take their picture, make sure I'll talk to them about, hey, how'd you guys do? You know, what can I help you with? I'm responsible for making sure that they get all their tournament fees paid and everything. And if there's an issue with that, I help them with that. Getting them jerseys and gear. I'm responsible for talking to like the booster club to get our rain gear that we have, stuff like that. So the coaching stuff, honestly, and I tell people this, a lot of it is the boat captains. They do a lot of that stuff. They don't really get a lot of coaching as far as, hey, use this lure, go do this. These guys do it all the time, and they have a plan of how they want to attack it. And so my job is to make sure that they have everything that they need to have success. And so that's kind of my role, especially on the tournament days, because once I get there, I mean, they've been fishing since 7 o'clock in the morning. They've been out on the water. So they're coming in and I'm making sure that everything's good. They get their weigh-in slip, all that stuff. This last tournament, they have to turn raffle tickets in it's part of the qualifying for the championship. So I make sure, hey, did you guys get your stuff turned in? So a lot of paperwork and stuff like that, the boring stuff that nobody likes but is necessary to make sure everything goes the way it's supposed to.
Super. Dalton, appreciate it as always. Best of luck the rest of the spring on the water.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it.
Dalton Pierce, Lebanon Bass Fishing, joining us today. Jacket Talk brought to you by Mercy, by Mid-Missouri Bank, by Jacket Nation Sports, and by Ginger Wellness. We'll have more with Ramsey coming up from Buzzcuts after this.
Welcome back to Jacket Talk. I'm sitting down today with
Lucas.
Lucas, what's your last name, Lucas?
Williams.
Lucas Williams and
Connor Meckem.
Connor Meckem. How old are you guys?
I'm 12.
I'm 12 too.
12. So we're in sixth grade. Youngins. Tell me a little bit about fishing.
Bite's been pretty rough here lately.
Yeah?
This year lately, we were expecting to catch them all on finesse stuff, but we only caught one on finesse stuff, but we also usually use just one bait.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We did nothing but used wacky rigs and
Ned rigs.
Okay.
All day.
So explain, first let's go into finesse. What's that mean?
Finesse stuff like non-moving baits.
Okay.
Because slower, you move it. The action is way slower than a faster moving bait.
Okay. You fish those around structure, deep water? How does that kind of work?
Anywhere from structure to deep water.
Okay. And then you mentioned, what was the other one you mentioned? The moving bait?
The moving bait, it's along the lines of a crankbait.
Spinnerbait,
yeah. Anything from there. And you basically just reel it in.
Reel it in?
Cast and reel.
Cast and reel.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Not really much you have to do with the cast and reel bait, but with the finesse bait, you got to work it a little bit more.
Right. What's your favorite one to fish with?
Me personally, I like the Ned rigs. I catch a lot of fish on it.
Explain a Ned rig?
It's like a little stick bait.
Okay.
You throw it out there, let it sink to the bottom. Usually the fish hit it on either the way down or when it's sitting straight up on the bottom. Yeah. Sometimes you'll get a little twitch to get the fish to bite it.
Right.
But this weekend that wasn't the case. They just were tough. We caught a couple. Well, we caught one on a wacky rig, and a lot of the other ones spit it with the Ned rig or wacky rig.
Gotcha. What about you?
Oh, I like the wacky rig because you just basically just cast out there in their structure or in deeper water, and you just let it sink and just pop.
Yeah.
And then once it's in a weird open water column area, you just reel it in and cast back out.
Gotcha. Is there a rhythm to it?
Oh, not really. It could be different. You could do a pop and then just reel a little bit and then just do that over and over.
I gotcha. How long, so when you guys get started in a tournament, and we mentioned earlier it opening or start time, how much have you guys scouted? What do you put into that? How often do you fish to kind of prepare for tournaments?
A good amount. We usually go pre-fish the lake one to two times, and then we pre-fish it.
Gotcha. Is that how many times have you caught bigger fish on pre-fish than you did on tournaments? And how mad does that make you?
A lot. We usually catch a lot more when we're pre-fishing than on
when
the
it
actual
doesn't
time.
Count? I gotcha. What about you? Has that happened to you?
Yeah, I've only had one tournament where we pull 10 to 12 fish each of us, and I've only had that happen to me once.
Yeah.
And like I normally catch a lot more fish on like a pre-fish day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was the day where they were catching on Ned rigs and crankbaits.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What's your favorite lake to fish?
Between Lake of the Ozarks and probably Table Rock. It really depends what time of year it is.
Right.
Because Table Rock, there's some times of year where it's not very good, and there's times of year where it's really good. Same with Lake of the Ozarks. I just don't like bull shoals because there's a lot of other structure that I can't fish it because there'll be like a bank right here and it'll come down really, really shallow where the structure comes up.
Yeah.
You know, that confuses me because it looks like a really, really good spot when you're seeing over the water.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're not, you can't really, like when you get up there, there's not really no fish on it because it's so shallow.
Right. Because that's, and the difference, like Bull Shoals Lake, for example, that's a rock bottom.
Yeah.
Whereas Lake of the Ozarks a mud bank. So
Yeah.
Water's different. Water temperatures are different in both. We've fished a lot. Little pro tip, maybe you've done this before. You fish with live bait very often?
No. I don't think it's... you can't fish with live bait in these tournaments.
Well, if you ever get a chance, have someone take you down to Bull Shoals in late summer, find a rocky point and some crawdads, hook them through the back and just drop them off that point, catch some Kentucky bass. It's fun. My dad used to take and doing that. So
I remember when we were in Table Rock Lake and we caught a lot of Kentucky bass, but we thought they were largemouth because they were shorter, and they would have been able to be measured in the tournament, but we thought they were largemouth, so we couldn't
count them.
Yeah. Because largemouths have to be like, I think 15, 16.
15.
And the Kentucky, they have to be like
12, I
12,
think.
13.
All right. So, Connor, give me a favorite fishing memory.
It was out on Lake of the Ozark, and me and Dad were fishing the tournament.
Okay.
And when day started out really strong, both of us caught some nice fish, and then we went back into this one cove, and then I caught countless amounts of fish, and he did too. He caught a whole bunch of keepers. I caught a whole bunch of small and keepers, and it was just overall a really good day.
Right. Just a nice day out on the water.
Yeah.
How'd you finish in that tournament?
We only came in with like 3 keepers because like we threw some of them back because like we got confused with like Kentucky,
Right.
all that, and we finished with like 4 pounds, I think, 4 pounds.
Gotcha. Give me a memory. Give me a good fishing memory or fish. How about a fish story? You got any of those? Because there's a difference, right?
Oh, here's one. It's actually about him. We were with him. He had a topwater frog.
Okay.
Oh God.
And he's sitting there in the water. He's popping it. And he thinks he got to fish on because he just saw it go under a little bit. He jerks that thing back. It hooks him right here in the stomach.
Oh.
It is terrible.
He's like freaking out.
And it wasn't like a regular frog where it's like weedless. It was a hua popper, and it has a treble hook at the end.
It has 2 treble hooks, one at the
Yeah.
bottom and one right here. Both of them got him right in the side.
You got a scar?
No.
We had to try this new method with line where we had to cut the hook off first. We had to wrap the line around the hook and bend it backwards to where it could easily come out of the skin without the barb catching on it.
Right.
Yeah, his dad. So we hooked it back through my skin and then cut off the tip and then pulled it out.
Ooh.
And then he took some braid and then just tied it around it and just jerked it real hard.
Funny thing was that he was distracted because a good fish just jumped on that side.
It's like a gar.
He looks over there like all surprised, and my dad just goes dink, and he's like doesn't even know what happened.
Yeah. It's so quick. It just happened.
Well, that sounds like
I
fun.
think you were more scared because you had a hook in your stomach than you were actually hurt.
Yeah.
Because
Probably.
once you looked at that gar, just like you froze, and then you didn't even know the hook was out of you.
Yeah. It just was out like that.
So, you guys, now, for those who don't know, bass fishing, you guys have a captain in your boat, right?
Yeah.
Front or back of the boat, who runs the trolling motor? Does the captain run the trolling motor? Do you guys get that kind of?
It's pretty much the captain most of the times. We run it every once in a while because the boater's license.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one here with the boater's license besides.
He usually runs it, and his dad. I'm usually on either the side of the boat up front when his dad's sitting down, or him and his dad are up on the front of the boat while I'm in the back of the boat. It gives us some room if there's a fish right there and he misses the fish, I can throw back out there and catch the fish.
Why don't you have your boater's license yet? Slacking a little bit?
Yeah.
You just rather fish. Let everybody else drive the boat. You'll just fish, right?
Yeah, I'll just fish. I'll just tag along. He can drive the boat. I'll just tag along, catch the fish.
What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
Like, are we talking bass?
Just, yeah, whatever.
I don't really measure or weigh most of my fish. I kind of just like estimate it.
Yeah. So they're all huge.
Yeah, they're all pretty big to me.
The biggest one every day, right? What about you, Connor?
Same thing. I mean, I don't really. We were out on a dock and I cast it out. Thought I was snagged and I was popping my line trying to get unsnagged, and then my line just took off.
Yeah.
And it was
That
like
rainy day.
Yeah.
That we were pulled into a dock bank. Like it was like just public. So we pulled in there. It was rusty. We were throwing worms, just trying to get a bite.
Right.
He casts out there in the middle of the lake, and the thing sinks to the bottom. He's like, "I'm snagged. I can't get it off. I'm snagged." And suddenly, his line just goes and starts drifting in the water, going that way. And he's like, his dad's like, "No, you have a fish. Reel in."
Yeah.
And then suddenly he pulls like a 4-pounder out.
Yeah, that was a pretty good
That was a
one.
pretty good day, huh?
Yeah. We couldn't get a bite all day because we were stuck underneath that dock because my dad, his dad, we were all fishing on his dad's boat.
And it just suddenly started pouring rain, thunder, and lightning.
I gotcha.
And we were far enough from where the boat docked where we just pulled in. And we just got out too, so we didn't want to come back to the boat dock either.
Right.
We knew it was going to rain, but we didn't know it was going to rain that hard that day. We were solidly on the
dock for like 3-4 hours.
yeah,
was a
just
long
waiting for a
time.
bite.
Gotcha.
We thought there'd be fish, like, you know, when there's structure under the dock.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big old pine tree under the dock structure. You could see it hanging out. And we saw a decent-sized smallmouth go under there.
Yeah, you just literally look down and you just see them right there.
So
You were on
we
the
spent
hunt.
a solid 30 minutes just trying to get that fish.
Gotcha. Well, couple more questions for you guys. You both mentioned Lake of the Ozarks is a favorite. I
Yeah.
gotta imagine part of that's because it's the quickest way for you guys to get on the water and do what you actually enjoy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
The only thing that I don't like about Lake of the Ozarks is some of the finessey stuff that I like doing.
yeah,
It doesn't really work as much as like the crankbaits, the spinnerbaits, the chatterbaits. Those work awesome in Lake of the Ozarks. But the Ned rig also does great in Lake of the Ozarks.
right. So where's your honey hole, or are we not sharing that?
We should keep that a secret.
spot. You got a spot you go to,
It's a secret.
like you know if you go there you're good to go.
Yeah, we usually catch fish in this one spot. Catch a lot of them actually, except that one day where they're just pouring water out of Lake of the Ozarks, and the water was like wholly drained,
Right.
and
Yeah, it was like down by like 10 feet, 10 to 12 feet. It was bad.
yeah, so the fish were not biting.
Gotcha.
And this is usually a spot where we catch a whole bunch of fish.
Well, You guys got any fishermen you look up to, professional guys? Anybody you watch, YouTube follows?
Ben Milliken.
Who?
Ben Milliken.
Ben Milliken?
Yeah.
I usually watch him.
Why Ben
Me
Milliken?
and my dad, we usually watch MLF fishing on TV.
Gotcha. You guys do any other sports?
I play a lot of basketball.
A lot of basketball? What about you?
Football in the
Football?
fall.
Football in the fall? All right.
Yeah.
All right, so one last question here. I appreciate you guys coming on. What's your favorite food?
Probably tacos.
Yeah, tacos are pretty good.
Tacos?
Yeah.
What do you put on your tacos?
I usually put meat, lettuce, little bit of tomato, cheese, taco sauce, hot sauce, and you never know, but I tried ranch this one time on my taco. It was really, really good.
All right, what about you?
I actually convinced him to put ranch on his tacos, and he actually liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty
Gotcha.
good.
He's like, "Why are you putting ranch on your tacos?" I'm like, "Cause it's good. Try it." And he tries it, and he's like, "That's pretty good."
Feel good about life then, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. Well, Lucas, Connor, appreciate you guys both. Anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to before we get off here?
I want to thank my dad and his dad for just making sure we have the right equipment. I want to thank the fishing team head captains, the one that all sponsors us to help us just get the stuff that we need.
All right, Connor?
I thank my dad, and I think all of like the
Supporters.
supporters and everyone on the fishing team. Team might be small, but still fishing team. And I just want to, yeah, that's about it.
I think we only have like 5 teams here in Lebanon that actually came and fished with us.
Well, you know what Sunday is, right?
It's the day that I come fish.
Championship.
Well, I'm talking off water.
Oh.
What Sunday is, right? Don't make me bait you into this.
Church?
It's Mother's Day.
Oh, crap. I forgot.
Better give a quick shout out to the glue that holds it all together. And I know I'm surrounded by some amazing moms in my family and stuff. So you guys want to give a quick shout out to Mom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think our moms were doing great. They usually pack our lunch, get our lunch stuff all ready.
We got you. So shout out to Mom. Happy Mother's Day. And Connor,
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my mom and his mom too.
take good care of you.
Yeah.
I bet they make sure you got plenty of snacks for those long days on the water, huh?
Yeah, sometimes more than enough.
More than enough. What's your favorite snack?
I like extra cheddar goldfish.
Okay. Have you tried the dill pickle goldfish?
I didn't know they made some.
Yeah. Give him a shot. What about you, Connor?
Nacho cheese Doritos.
Nacho cheese Doritos. All right. Well, guys, thank you. Best of luck this season. I'm excited to watch. You guys are both 6th graders, so you got quite the career ahead of you, and we appreciate you sitting down and chatting with us today.
Okay.
All right. We always end these with Go Jackets. So on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Go Jackets.
My name is Jaysha Connor, owner and nurse practitioner here at Ginger Wellness. I believe that sometimes healthcare does too much, and I believe that's where wellness centers can really bridge that gap and really give people some confidence in natural ways, healthier ways, to really improve quality of life and to get healthy.
We want to feel better and live better lives. It's not about quantity, it's a lot about quality of your life.
Ginger Wellness is where I went to get my quality of life back.
I'm Monty Hayes, Community President at Mid-Missouri Bank in Lebanon. We have the best products and services with friendly faces you know as your neighbors. Our financial experts and community leaders live, work, and play where you do. In a world that is constantly changing, we have the technology and security to allow you to bank from anywhere. Our lobby and drive-thru is open 6 days a week at 278 North Jefferson, or visit us online at openaccounts.midmobank.com. Go Jackets!
Welcome back to Jacket Talk Overtime. We're sitting down with the Snyder twins today. Sophomores, twins, fishermen. car guys,
Pretty much.
everything.
Yeah.
Let's start. Car guys, what's your favorite car?
Mine has to be probably a Dodge of some sort, probably like a Challenger or something.
Okay, that's the
Or a
two-door.
TRX.
Or a TRX?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those
'cause
are pretty sweet.
The Challenger's the two-door. I always get
Yeah.
them mixed up. The Charger's the four-door. The
Yeah.
Challenger. What about that electric Challenger?
I don't know. It's probably one of the better looking electric cars that you could buy, but I'm just not an electric car type of person.
I got you. What about you?
I mean, they're cool, they're fast, but
I figure you're like a truck guy.
yeah, I might probably the TRX. I like that one.
Gotcha. Isn't there like a new TRX too? Like a not quite TRX, but like a little bit
Yeah,
less.
Yeah, there's something like that. I think it has like a 6-cylinder in it or something. Not all
the
that.
V8.
It's like a turbocharged or whatever.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming in today. We're going to talk a little bit about LHS bass fishing. Why fishing?
I mean, it's pretty fun. You go out there, you just really just mess around.
Right.
Catching fish is kind of a plus.
It's fun when you're catching them.
Yeah.
When it's slow, it kind of sucks.
When's the last time you got skunked?
Last tournament.
Last tournament?
Yeah.
Where
so,
at? Where was that one at?
The lake.
Okay.
Not,
the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah,
right?
not very good there, I guess.
Who's the better fisherman?
Probably him.
Really?
I'm not that good. I mean,
he would be good if he just kept with it and like didn't just stop mid.
Right.
He just kind of whatever after he's not catching anything. But I feel like I'm always casting out there.
Get a little frustrated, do you?
yeah, it's hard sometimes when you're not having to buy it or anything.
Oh
Right.
yeah, it's hard to want to keep doing it.
What we were joking prior. There's some weird names for lures, baits, whatever you want to call it. What's your favorite weird named bait?
Probably like a Whopper Plopper.
Whopper Plopper. You guys did that. Now you set the bar because when we say go jackets at the end, you guys did that really well together, so you can't screw up go jackets at the end. All right.
Okay.
So it's going to be a test.
All right.
All right.
How long you guys been fishing?
Probably since about middle school, sometime in there. But we really kind of took a break from it there for a little bit because we just got real busy, and then we just started up last year again, and then we fished this year as well.
Gotcha.
We did really good last year at the championship. We got second.
Okay.
Yeah, we got second in state, and then not real good
year's been
this
slow.
year,
A
but
little slow this year.
yeah, it's been all right though.
Hopefully it's not because you're wearing that shirt.
No, it's not because of that. I think this shirt's all right.
Why you let him get away with that? Or are you a woo pig suey guy too?
I like the hogs.
I gotcha. Why not Mizzou?
I don't know. I honestly, my dad likes Razorbacks, and then we have an uncle from Arkansas,
Okay.
and that's really just where I get it from now. But like, if Mizzou's playing somebody other than Arkansas, I want Mizzou to win. But if it's Arkansas and Mizzou, I want Arkansas.
All right. So when we were talking to the middle school guys, they talked a little bit about finessing and then another rig. What's your favorite way to fish?
My favorite way to fish is just in the summertime, just a regular Texas rigged worm,
Okay.
and it's pretty simple. Just bounce it off the bottom, reel it back in.
What about you?
I like a crankbait. Just keep reeling.
Just in and out, in and out, in and out. All right. So he's a Texas rig fan. Explain Texas rig to us.
A Texas rig. So you have the hook, and
Right.
no, you actually have the weight, and then the hook, and then the worm.
Okay. So it's like the worm's at the bottom and the hook's in the middle.
Okay, so you take the hook and hook through the top and kind of run it up there to the top, and then kind of bend it some sort to where
Hides
here's
your
the hook. Yeah, it hides
Okay,
the
hides
barb of
the
the
hook.
hook, so you don't get hung up and stuff as bad.
Gotcha.
And then it just like kind of floats like that.
And the weight, it's on a slip, so it's moving up and down the line, right?
Yeah, but it usually just it's a bullet weight,
Okay.
or I think that's what it's called pretty well, and it just kind of drags along the bottom if you
Gotcha.
reel it slow enough.
All right. So I've done a little bit of fishing,
Mm-hmm.
but I always think when it's on the bottom, it's a bite. How do
Yeah.
you tell the difference?
I mean, really, if you're fishing the bottom consistently, you kind of know what it's been feeling like, and then
Right.
I don't know. I think it's just an instinct mainly.
You feel like
just-
the bump, like the
yeah, it's like a quick nibble,
it's
Gotcha.
weird.
but sometimes it's just they take it.
And then you're out there like Bill dancing that thing, just
Oh yeah,
back
just
on it,
yank it.
give it everything you can.
Oh yeah,
What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
probably like 5.5 pounds. Nothing like huge. Nothing bad though.
That's probably mine. I haven't really caught anything that big.
Right.
Probably 5 pounds.
It's a totally different thing when it's on there, though, right?
It feels
Yeah,
like
it feels like
it feels big.
Great white or something. It's like you pulling in a great white.
So how do you kind of tell me, give us the high school perspective of fishing? Obviously it's not, it's a smaller sport, a little bit different than the others, but kind of tell us how that goes.
It's pretty simple. I mean, usually you just sign up or you just tell them you want to fish, pay your fees, whatever. And then you got, I think it was maybe 3 regular tournaments to qualify for the state tournament, and they're all on Sundays, and they're spread apart throughout the springtime. And, I mean, that's really, you go there, you fish for the day. You can go pre-fish the day before or the day before at school, whatever. And then you go up there the next day and do the same thing. And I think weigh-in's usually around 2:30, 3 o'clock or earlier, whatever time you start, depends on that. And you just, that's pretty much it.
Who's better at kind of pre-fishing and scouting?
Neither of us are very good at that. I mean, it's usually
our cousin Philip. Yeah, he's pretty good. He knows.
Pretty good.
I mean, he's a real good fisherman.
Yeah, he's a good boat captain.
So he's your captain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How, like, on fishing day, like, kind of tell us how that goes, because I know you guys obviously go and you start, but it's usually an early morning start, right?
Yeah. So it depends on how far it is. You can either spend the night before and wake up, just whatever, and then you get out there, wait for whatever time, say it's 7:30. You're usually out there waiting until it hits 7:30, and then you start fishing it from there.
You don't have to leave from the same spot every time. Like, you can go to your spot and just wait till that time before you can cast.
Oh, yeah, so it's not like some big shotgun.
No. The state tournament actually is. We all, I think, wasn't it last year?
Yeah, I think so.
We were all they call your boat out, and that's when you go.
Gotcha. So, where's the furthest you went to fish?
Oh, not very far. Bull Shoals. Yeah, Bull Shoals, probably. Bull Shoals.
The middle school kids weren't fans of Bull Shoals. Are you guys?
I mean, last year I was, because we caught 5, but
okay.
Yeah, we had a limit by probably 10 o'clock.
Yeah. But this year, not so much.
Yeah, we didn't.
Day.
I think we caught a lot of dinks.
Yeah.
Where do you guys Bull Shoals? Where you put in at? How does that work? Do you even remember?
I don't know.
I think it's like Theodosia, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. I've spent some time on that lake, so it's a fun lake. My brother has a camper down there now, so
yeah.
What are you guys looking forward to? What's left this season?
Fishing.
Yeah.
Nothing's left but the state tournament, and then other than that, then
there's a tournament after that.
The shootout.
Right.
It's, I can't remember, August maybe he said, but that's pretty much it, and then it's over for the season.
Did you guys qualify for state tournament?
Yeah, we didn't do that good this year.
That's all right. You're only sophomores, right?
Yeah, we got 2 more years.
Okay. A little bit more about, you guys got second last year?
Yeah, we got second there last year. So
what separated first and second last year?
It was a half a pound. It maybe wasn't even half a pound away from that.
But you just couldn't quite make it happen.
Couldn't quite make it happen. It was, I think he had one that could have done it for us, but he lost at the boat.
Oh, so it's his fault.
Yeah, I would blame it on him. No, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, it could have been my fault too. I should have caught another one.
Yeah.
If it was really,
or you shouldn't have gave up. Right?
Yeah, or he shouldn't have given up.
Was it one of those days where you just kind of gave up?
No, it was a good day. It was fun. We tried. We caught a lot that day.
The weather wasn't the best though.
No, the lake was real up.
Gotcha.
Quite a bit.
Lots of rain.
Yeah.
Let's get into a few off the water things. Let's talk about school a little bit. Favorite subject?
Probably ag. I like
ag.
Yeah.
I got you. What do you do in ag that's fun?
Welding, stuff like that.
Okay. What about you?
Like real subject, like an actual subject would probably be math, but like my favorite class would probably be weights or something.
Okay. All right. What plans after fishing, after other sports? Anything you got going on there?
Like plans after
high school.
Oh, plans after I plan to either go to college for something or just get right straight into the car business.
I got you. What about you?
I want to go in the car business too.
Yeah, family's been doing that for quite a while, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you got baseball this afternoon. You guys are headed to Carthage, right?
Yeah, Carthage.
So that's a long bus ride.
Yeah, quite a ways.
You don't have bus rides in bass fishing, right?
No, you just got a car ride, go up there, come back.
Who's better at backing the boat down the ramp?
Him.
You're not very good at it?
No.
Have you hit anything?
No, never hit anything.
Have you?
Not that I know.
I just know not to do it.
You just know not to do it?
I'll let him do that.
I got you. What's your favorite food?
Oh, probably steak.
All right.
Pizza.
Pizza. What's on your pizza?
Meat lovers.
Meat lovers pizza?
Yeah.
You a ranch guy on your pizza?
Yeah, ranch.
Okay. How do you have your steak cooked?
Medium.
Medium?
Yeah.
What's your favorite cut of steak?
Filet.
Filet. Okay. Fair. I told you beforehand, this is an important weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah, Mother's Day.
You guys want to give a quick shout out to your mom?
Thank you, Mom, for all you do.
Mom.
What's
I
her
appreciate
name?
it. Aaron Snyder.
All right. Should we put a picture up of her as we do this? Or
I
does
don't,
she just-
we could, but I don't think she would want that.
You don't think she would
I mean,
want
we
that?
could, though. I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
What do you how mad would she be?
I should pretty mad, probably.
It depends.
You still get grounded?
No, I mean, I don't do anything dumb enough to get grounded anymore.
Is he telling the truth?
Yeah, he's telling the truth.
What about you?
I try to stay out of trouble.
Try?
We don't really do anything bad, I wouldn't say.
Well, you guys are busy.
Yeah, we stay busy, so we don't have time to.
Car stuff, baseball, football.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of do your thing.
Yeah, I like hunting a lot.
You're a big hunter?
Yeah.
It's turkey season right now. Turkey season, did you take advantage of it?
Yeah, I got 2. He got 1.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate you guys being on. I know it's busy right now. Appreciate you guys coming on and kind of telling us a little bit more about bass fishing. Anybody else you want to thank before we get off here?
Just both my parents and Philip Brown for taking us, because he's the brains behind everything. We don't know a whole lot compared to him. So
now the other two didn't have their one. Connor had his boater's license and Lucas didn't. Do you have your boater's license?
He does. I
have
don't.
mine.
Why am I not surprised?
I don't know.
Even though you just will like tail off and not even fish for half the day, but you'll make sure you have all the things you need and take care of it. Right?
He likes driving, and I think he just goes out there wanting to.
You just want to hammer down?
Yeah, he wants to get her on plane.
You do the the hot foot, or what's that called? I didn't even know boats had it, but the foot pedal.
Oh,
no, we just have the just lever deal there.
All right. Ever fallen out of the boat?
No, I don't want to though.
No,
I don't think that'd be real fun.
You guys have to wear life jackets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You gotta
when
keep
we
those ones, the ones that go over the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you're in the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks again for sitting down and talking about bass fishing. Hate that you didn't make the state tournament, but I know you got the shootout looking forward to, and there's always next year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, we always end these, and I mentioned before, here's your one chance. You can't screw this up.
All right.
So on 3, do you know what we're saying?
I would assume go Jackets.
Okay, good. You're doing all right. So 1, 2, 3.
Go Jackets.
Pretty good. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate these guys. Appreciate the bass fishing team for spending the day with us, and look forward to more. Go Jackets.
Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.